And I just want to say thank you so much to the WiNN team for putting on this forum today. I know we're all here for a really to talk about a really positive thing of disability employment. So thank you so much for letting us introduce the concept of the Work Readiness Programme. This, as I mentioned, so our Work Readiness Programme is actually QASA's flagship program and has only recently been launched, but is already having really successful results. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to QASA, who are the Quad Para Association of South Africa, and then the Quad Para Association of the Western Cape, where I'm currently employed. We share the same mission, which is that quadriplegics and paraplegics will live their lives to their full potential, and both organisations are associations of and for wheelchair users. I'm employed, but the organisation is managed and governed by wheelchair users. So we're an organisation of wheelchair users for wheelchair users, which is quite unique. So I wanted to sort of just have a look at a quote as well. We've been talking about disability employment, and this quote is from Oliver Sacks. It says, "I wish for a world that views disability, mental or physical, not as a hindrance, but as unique attributes that can be seen as powerful assets if given the right opportunities." And our Work Readiness Programme endeavours to give these opportunities to these learners, or to these candidates, I should say. Oh, sorry. So the QASA Work Readiness Programme bridges the gap between unemployment and employment, which is the biggest step to gaining independence for our members. You think about the independence financially, providing motivation and providing a purpose within their lives. It's such a big gap to bridge. And so the program launched here in the Western Cape and also in Gauteng on the 1st of April 2019. So we're currently in our third intake, and this week it's actually launched in Durban as well, which is very exciting. So why work readiness? So we did some research with our members, with employers, with recruitment agencies, and what we were finding is that our candidates were skilled. Candidates are moving through these skills development programs, but they are lacking the ability to be able to move into workforces. They don't necessarily have the confidence or there are issues that are being raised in terms of moving into employment. Some of these things, particularly in wheelchair users, adapting your body to being up for eight or more hours a day. That's a huge impact for wheelchair users, and something that if you're doing 5 days a week, you have to get used to. Many of our members hadn't sought sustainable transport opportunities as well. I know we think that dial-a-ride is a sustainable opportunity, but no. I've seen so many heads shaking in the room. I think we all know. As well, there's limited understanding of reasonable accommodation. A lot of our members don't actually understand the concept of reasonable accommodation, or it's the other way. People go too far and expect too much of reasonable accommodation. There's a basic understanding of CVs, applying for jobs, again, the confidence issue around, do I disclose my disability as well? There's also limited mentors within the workplace as well, so actually having successful people with disabilities who are in the workforce who are able to showcase what they've been able to achieve throughout their career. And finally, again, they need guidance to solve problems. They're lacking a lot of confidence in the workplace. So we came up with the idea that, okay, let's simulate a workplace. So every 2 months we take on 6 new candidates, and the candidates move themselves independently through 13 modules. And we support the concept of work readiness and simulating a workplace, as it's a really valuable environment to be able to develop and to showcase and to continue furthering the development of those soft employment skills. We also provide in the environment an opportunity for employment seeking, and we have very successful rates of employment uptake. So what do we do to make a simulated workplace? So whilst the candidates are moving through the content independently, they're required to adhere to QASA policy. So they understand the concept of the fact that they're signing a contract and that they're bound by our policies, and that disciplinary action will be taken if they don't adhere to these policies. As well, we have daily team meetings and weekly management meetings. There are reports, presentations and teamwork, which are presented not just to their fellow colleagues, but to their facilitator, to our office staff, to our board members, to potential employers as well. So they're gaining a variety of experience and exposure to the people who they're interacting with. Additionally, they develop office skills, such as utilising a scanner or printer, formulating professional emails, being able to answer a phone call. We again, to give the candidates a really great knowledge of reasonable accommodation. So we partner with Edit Microsystems to have them come through and be able to do an individual assessment on each candidate and be able to showcase to them the particular types of reasonable accommodation that are available and what will make them more productive in the workplace. And then we also work with the candidates as well to talk about what is reasonable accommodation, what can they reasonably expect from an employer, and what is going to be too much. We also do 1 week of corporate workplace experience, which is a great opportunity for the candidates to put into place the skills that they've been learning. And we also have individuals and our members who have been successful in their careers to be able to showcase their career journeys. So the gentleman on the right is JP Looked, and he's actually a C4 quadriplegic, but is the CEO and entrepreneur founder of the Olive Grove and has had an incredibly successful career. We then have on the left here Richard Baron, who has moved through QASA. He's now a treasurer, but he's been at Old Mutual for 20+ years, and so is able to share his story and some of the challenges that he's faced in the workplace as a person with a disability. We also use psychometric assessments as a tool for development, not only for the candidate and the facilitator, but also for employers as well. And then one of the most valuable parts of the program, I feel, and I would encourage you guys to come and experience this if you can, the group at the end of at their graduation actually present on the value proposition of hiring persons with disabilities. Now, I can stand here and tell you how wonderful it is to hire a person with a disability, but if you listen to them for yourselves and they can tell you individually the value that they can bring to your workplace, it's incredibly powerful and incredibly meaningful. Okay, I'm gonna really race through this next part. So our recruitment process, we go through an individual application process and we conduct interviews with the candidates. Matric is a requirement at the moment, but I know that that's a topic and I do want to kind of explore that in the breakaway session as well. And where are the candidates now? So we have national partners who have been an absolute pleasure to work with, and many of our partners have been really involved with trying to find sustainable opportunities for our candidates, which is fantastic and really makes the biggest difference in ensuring that the opportunity will be permanent and will continue to add value to the candidates' lives. So what do our partners do? They host workplace experience, they host internships, and they offer permanent employment as well. And to date, our program has a 90% success rate nationally, which I think showcases the need for a program to be able to bridge the gap to employment. I know there are a lot of skills development programs, but in terms of actually bridging and simulating the workplace, it's been incredibly successful for us. So I would encourage the rest of the disability space to be able to look at the concept as well. Thank you so much. I know I'm over time.
Sorry.